The distinction between master morality and slave morality is one of Nietzsche's most notorious and perhaps misused bits of insight. In today's episode, I want to explore it not in the traditional way as looking at historical societies or dividing up different moralities, but I want to look at it as an internal psychology to an individual human being. What does it mean for us to have a master and a slave inside? For master morality and slave morality to reside within us as individuals? That's what we're going to explore on today's episode of The Living Philosophy. I had an interesting insight when I was making one of my recent episodes called Happiness is Bullshit, Aim Higher. And it was that Nietzsche's idea of the slave morality and the master morality can actually be applied to the individual psychology. And in the week after this insight, it's kind of electrified me and it's galvanized my life by thinking about that as an individual trait. And what it is just thinking of you having an internal master and an internal slave. And it's this thing of we have an internal thing that likes to obey, but there's also an internal thing that likes to command. And I can think of times in my life where I've gone hyper-productive, where I've cut back my sleep and I've just dedicated myself to a million different tasks and personal development. And there's a joy, there's a feeling, it's a tension in the boat. There's a struggle in a sense against yourself. It's the discipline of waking up and going, okay, let's do it, and getting movement. And then when you do the thing, you're really proud of it. And it's that kind of pride and that sense of growth that drives you on. And then there's other times, and this is more common, when it's more like, I've told myself I'll do these things, I've set these habits in place, and now I'm just kind of like following through on the routines. I don't identify with the commander in me. I identify with the kind of the one who's just kind of chugging away, the one who's just kind of like, okay, I better do this is what I gotta do, just gotta keep chugging on. And ever since I had that distinction, I decided, I was watching Wim Hof talk to Jordan Peterson a couple of months ago, and this is an interesting thing, he was talking about, okay, how much of a cold shower do you have to take? Well, he says 2.5 minutes if you want to get the health benefits, and you can just go in for a hot shower and then turn it down to cold. But, if you want to, build up your mental strength, just get in straight when it's cold. Don't warm yourself up, just get straight in. And you can talk about staying in for longer or going into colder water. And so I just had, the other day I was just like, you know what? Let's go for it. I'm going to have the affirmation of that master strength, of that power within me. And I decided to just get straight in the cold shower. And once I'm having a cold shower, I'm like, I get this sense of of power within me, and the sense of because you get the blood moving. And as Wim Hof explains, it releases glucose throughout your body and adrenaline. So there's this energy released throughout the body that would be trapped, and it opens up your cardiovascular system. And so you get this dump of amazingness when you take a cold shower. And I also seen Tony Robbins talking to Russell Brand, and he was saying that he has this cryotherapy. First thing he does in the morning, jump in this 56 degrees Fahrenheit water. Just kind of fascinated me. So I was like, okay, I normally shower later in the morning, kind of after my breakfast, and I'll start with the warm. But I said, okay, no, I'm doing my Wim Hof breathing in the morning. I'm going to get straight in the shower. So I get straight into the cold, and it's just like, oh yes, that power, and that feeling of inner kind of yes, I am in control of my life. I am in control. I'm weathering this dynamism of life. Good morning! Not called it off. And so it was just that switch, experiencing that inner power of kind of a master morality, of the desire to command, as Nietzsche says, rather than the desire to obey, and the kind of avenging yourself on that stronger part of yourself, as you'll often find yourself doing if you're in times where you identify with that master part of yourself. You'll begin to undermine yourself. You begin to, because it's either the procrastination or the part of you that just wants to take a break. That's the slave, and it will take power back. And it's that war between the internal instincts that you see going on, because in those times of trying to identify with the master, you're attacking other instincts. You're creating this internal dynamism that's at war. And the different instincts are at war with each other. One is trying to dominate over the other. And it's funny, Nietzsche, in one of the aphorisms in Beyond Good and Evil, he says all the instincts have been philosophers at different points. And depending on what instinct is ruling you, that's the one that is that is the master at that point. That's the one that's philosophizing. That's the angel on your shoulder, the devil on your shoulder, trying to get you to follow its path, trying to get you to philosophize in its direction, and to seduce you with intellectual reasons towards that thing. So it's interesting when the more tension you create in yourself, the more exertion you put yourself through, the more you'll notice that tension, and that the commander and the obeyer, the master morality and the slave morality, trying to gain power by twisting it and upturning the system. And the master just loves to command. It's the feeling that drives you on at such times is the feeling of power. It's the Machtgefühl, as it is in German, feelings of power, that you have this sense of dominance over yourself, this sense of control over your life, the sense of feeling like you can go anywhere because you are in control of this body, you're in control of this mind. And those are the feelings of master morality, the love of commanding. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you on today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up down below. And as ever, love to hear from you down in the comments. Otherwise, I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching.